So like I say, the words are the hologram. Words are spirit. Jesus said, the words I speak, they're spirit and life. So words reveal everything. Just like if you go to the CVS pharmacy or the Walgreens or whatever you go to, and you get some neomycin. Neo is the one. Neomycin. I know it's not spelled this way, but it's the phonics hold as well. Neomycin. Who is Neo? The one. My sin. Sin is your sin. Your fallen state. Neomycin. Neomycin. Diagnosis. When you go to the doctor, you get a diagnosis. D-I is divide. A-G is to draw out. Gnosis, to know. K-N-O, G-N-O. Cis. Diagnosis, the weaker vessel, the material realm, matter, the human side of the body, the weaker side. Diagnosis, D-I is divide, to draw out is A-G, to know, cis. Eve is the weaker vessel, a type of Christ and his church. So the human is the weaker side. Diagnosis. What's that antibiotic, people? A doxycycline. Dox has door, ox. E is spirit. Cycle. See, medicine is nothing more than a metronome. You take it every 12 hours, or every 8 hours, or every 24 hours. Medicine is a metronome, a cure against your sin. You're changing the sine wave. The sin wave, or the sine wave has to be brought back to normal. When you mess up your sine wave, or you go into the sin wave without the E, you have to bring back the E part, because the letter E balances the equation. So medical, or med, M-E-D, goes back to metronome, goes back to take appropriate measures. So measure is like the metronome in music. You're bringing your body back into the pure sine wave that has the positive and the negative, or not just the negative. You got the letter E is spirit. S-I-N is sin. So you got the down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. So the metronome pretty much is what medicine is. If you want to take appropriate measures, whatever it is, you have to follow a pattern. And pattern is pa, T, turn. Pa, turning out copies. So Jesus has paid for your sin, and he's provided medicine down here to follow. Like if you get, most people don't know this, but if you get acid reflux, right, all you gotta do is eat some peanuts. Why? The acid's coming back up the wrong way, so some peanuts are going to keep the acid from going back. Eat some peanut butter or peanuts. And so that peanut butter or peanuts is going to keep the acid from going backwards and still going the proper way. And so you're changing the sine wave, the sin wave. That's all. It's really easy. And you can do this with anything. You can do it with names, cities, states. The name reveals the person's destiny, really. There's always a name and an anti. There's a gift and an anti-gift. There's a gift of the spirit, and then there's a walking in the flesh. So there's always going to be the positive and the negative. So a person can take up their cross and follow Jesus, or they can try to be their own God, do their own thing. So it's obvious what we're in. So if you take the words and break them into parts, you can decode all mysteries down here. And you might say, well, how is that even possible? Because the same words you're speaking down here, they speak in heaven. And you know it's true. It might not be the same language, but they are able to speak whatever language. God controls the languages, right? So whatever language John the Revelator was up, he was up in heaven talking to the angels, talking to the saints. Whatever language they were speaking in heaven, he was able to understand. They understood his language. So the language is connecting both realms. The Spirit is connecting both realms. The Word is forever settled in heaven. The Word in heaven and the Word on earth line up. Same truth everywhere. It's so obvious, not even funny. And so if the same words are in heaven as on earth, and they are, the same truth, what does that mean? All things can be decoded through the words. These scientists, they're trying to use math, and math can get them to see some things, but there's only so much they can see. And they're trying to use all this other stuff, but the words, the phonics, the cognates, the syllables, the prefixes, pretty much all your prefixes and your suffix are just word-forming elements. The suffixes and prefixes are just word-forming elements. Why is it called a word-forming element? Because you're being changed back to the Word. God is making copies of His Son. Jesus is the Word. You're being transformed to the image of Jesus. So the suffix and the prefix are word-forming elements. And you might say, what are you talking about? ing, ed, er. All the suffixes. It's all about transforming you back into the Word. I mean, look it up. Just type in ing etymology. It's a word-forming element. Element. L-E-ment. L is God, Spirit, ment. Mental. God is transforming you. In the process of time, God is transforming you. He's changing you. You're going through a metamorphosis, sanctification process. Cambiar in Spanish. You're being changed, renovated, transformed. And you don't even know it. Even when you read the words, you're being changed. If you really pay attention to your old way of thinking, and you might not even be able to remember the way you used to think, but you can remember it by talking to people who have not gone the path yet. Talk to some people who think like con artists, or go talk to a Jezebel, go talk to a Delilah, and you realize you're not even in their little world anymore. They just, it's all about me, They don't care about nothing but me and the world, satisfying the base nature. That's all they care about. Base nature creatures. It's all about me. It's sad. Be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. Element, word-forming element, mental. Renew your mind. Mint. Become a sweet-smelling mint flavor.